Are you thinking about buying the upcoming Galaxy S25 Fan Edition? Well, there's something you need to know before you get too excited. The latest leak from a benchmark listing just confirmed some big details, and not everyone is happy about what's coming. Samsung fans have been waiting to see what the Galaxy S25 FE would bring, especially after mixed reviews of the last model. Now we know that it will come with the Exynos 2400E processor and 8 GB of RAM. For a lot of people, this might feel like a step back, especially for those who were hoping for a Snapdragon-powered phone. And it's not hard to understand why. Let's take a quick look at the history. The earlier Fan Edition phones like the Galaxy S20 FE and S21 FE were praised because they used the same powerful chips as the regular S series. You got great performance at a lower cost. But things changed with the Galaxy S23 FE. Samsung used an older chip in that phone, and the performance didn't quite live up to expectations. Many users felt let down, hoping it was just a one-time decision. But now, with the S25 FE also using an Exynos chip, it looks like this is becoming the new normal for the FE series. So, what exactly is the Exynos 2400E? It's a slightly downgraded version of the Exynos 2400 used in the Galaxy S24 series in some regions. It's not a terrible processor. It can easily manage calls, messages, browsing, and apps. But it's not as powerful or as efficient as the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is expected to run on the regular Galaxy S25, S25 Plus, S25 Ultra, and S25 Edge. If you're someone who likes gaming, does heavy multitasking, or wants top-level performance, this might not be the chip you were hoping for. Another thing to keep in mind is RAM. Most newer phones in 2025 are moving towards 12 GB of RAM, especially for smoother multitasking. But Samsung is sticking with just 8 GB in the Galaxy S25 FE. That might be enough for light users, but if you keep many apps open at once or plan to use your phone for several years, more memory would definitely help. And don't expect Samsung to release a Snapdragon version in select countries like they used to. Just like with the Galaxy S23 FE, which used Exynos worldwide, the same might happen here. This could be because Snapdragon chips are getting more expensive, and Samsung wants to cut costs to keep the Fan Edition more affordable. Still, there's one good surprise in all this. The Galaxy S25 FE could come with Android 15 out of the box, while the regular S25 series may launch with Android 14. That means the FE version might get software updates for a longer time. Samsung usually provides the same number of major updates across its phones, so this could be a bonus for those who care about long-term support and new features in the future. Are you still using a Galaxy S22 and wondering if it's going to get the next big Android update? Well, there's some good news. Samsung has started testing One UI 8, which is based on Android 16, and the Galaxy S22 series is now officially part of that process. Recently, the Galaxy S22 Ultra showed up on Geekbench running Android 16 with One UI 8, and that tells us Samsung is getting serious about keeping older devices up to date. Over the years, Samsung has improved a lot when it comes to software updates. It's no longer just about the newest phones. Now even the slightly older ones like the S22 are getting attention early. Google is expected to roll out the stable Android 16 update between June and September, and Samsung looks like it's trying to be one of the first to push its own version through One UI 8. That means Galaxy S22 users may not have to wait long to get their hands on it. The company has already started testing One UI 8 on its upcoming flagship devices like the Galaxy S25 and the Galaxy Z Fold 6. Now that the S22 has joined the testing phase, it's a clear sign that Samsung is planning a broader rollout. Reports even suggest that a beta program might launch before the end of the month, which would give some users early access to try out the update before its full release. But before you expect a completely new look or tons of flashy features, there's something you should know. So far, the early versions of One UI 8 don't seem to bring major changes. The initial builds are focused more on improving how the system works, smoother animations, small design tweaks, and performance enhancements that happen quietly in the background. It's all about stability right now. Samsung usually adds more visible changes as beta testing moves forward, so more updates will likely come later. For Galaxy S22 owners, this update is especially important for another reason. It's going to be the last major Android version they'll receive. The S22 series was released in 2022 with Android 12. Since Samsung promised 4 years of Android version upgrades, Android 16 with One UI 8 will complete that promise. After this, S22 users will continue to get monthly or quarterly security patches, but they won't be getting any more major Android version updates. That said, it doesn't mean the phone becomes outdated or useless. These security patches will still keep your phone safe, and performance tweaks might be included from time to time. But this marks the end of big changes for the S22 series, and that makes the One UI 8 update kind of a milestone. What's also worth noticing is how closely Samsung is working with Google's Android timeline. Starting tests this early shows that Samsung wants to stay competitive and keep its users updated ahead of others. In the past, Samsung was criticized for being slow with updates. Can Samsung finally beat Motorola at its own flip game? A new leak might just confirm the biggest design change coming to the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7, and this one could seriously shake up the flip phone market. Hidden inside Samsung's own One UI 8 software, leaked animation files are pointing toward a major redesign for the outer display, and this time it's not just a small tweak. So what exactly changed? According to the leaked build of One UI 8, Samsung may finally be going for an edge-to-edge cover screen on the Flip 7. And not just any screen, one that wraps around both rear cameras, stretching across almost the entire front panel when the phone is folded. That would be a big jump from the 3.4-inch cover display on the Flip 6, which many users felt was too small for anything beyond checking notifications or using a clock widget. Rumors suggest the new display might measure around 4 inches, giving users much more room to respond to messages, read emails, or even check maps, all without flipping open the phone. That's a big deal, especially when you look at what competitors are doing. Motorola's Razr Plus already has a 3.6-inch OLED screen on the outside, and it runs full Android apps. Xiaomi's Mix Flip is rumored to push that even further with its own edge-to-edge cover panel. These brands are treating the outer screen as the main way to use the phone, not just a tiny preview window. Samsung, on the other hand, has always led in hinge design, build quality, and water resistance. But it lagged behind on outer display size until now. So why this change? It seems Samsung is finally ready to give users a full-featured cover screen, and the software leak shows signs of native support for full apps on the outer panel, something users previously had to tweak, using Good Lock or other tools. If Samsung builds in this support from day one, the Flip 7 could feel far more functional, even when it's snapped shut. Now, let's talk specs. According to the latest rumors, the Galaxy Z Flip 7 is expected to have a 6.85-inch dynamic AMOLED main display with a 120Hz refresh rate, a 4-inch AMOLED cover screen, likely with a 60Hz refresh rate. The latest Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, with some markets possibly getting Samsung's Exynos 2512 GB of RAM and either 256 or 512 GB of storage, a camera setup with a 50-megapixel main sensor, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 10-megapixel selfie camera, a 4300 mAh battery supporting 25-watt wired charging. Android 16 with One UI 8 right out of the box. Samsung is expected to announce the Flip 7 sometime in July 2025. And if these leaks hold true, this could be the most complete flip phone the company has ever made. Why does the cover screen matter so much? If you've never used a flip phone, the outer display is what you interact with all the time.